Hey everyone, I'm Nicole.
And I'm Gabrielle.
And we are the hosts of the Spiritual Sisters podcast.
Join us every week as we discuss all the spiritual topics like astrology, mediumship, psychic insights, and so much more.
We are often joined by others we have met along our spiritual journey who are well versed in many of these areas.
Get ready for enlightening discussions and interviews and personal experiences that we hope will expand your mind and get you thinking outside of the box.
Whether you're a seasoned spiritual seeker or just beginning your spiritual journey, there's something here for everyone.
Check us out every Tuesday wherever you get your podcasts. See you then.
Bye!
Hi, beautiful souls, and welcome back to the Soul Ecosystem Podcast. I am your host, Anna Rising, and on this podcast, we discuss all things soul contracts. I'm a professional soul contract reader, and I work with a modality that combines Jewish mysticism, astrology, tarot, and numerology to calculate what you incarnated here to do. For those of you that are new here, a soul contract is the agreement that your soul makes before incarnating that acts as a blueprint in regards to what it is that you want to do this go around. So, on today's episode, we are going to be looking into the soul contracts of the cast of The Princess Bride. There are some big names there that I feel like we still see around in TV, but a large part of why I wanted to look into their soul contracts specifically is because I feel like that movie is legendary. It has become a household name. It's withstood the test of time. And I feel like we are going to be finding some really juicy stuff in their soul contracts that explains why they became such legendary actresses and actors via this movie. So we're going to take a look at Robin Wright first, and I'm going to share my screen with you guys to showcase the soul contract calculator that is available on my website, thesoulecosystem.com. Now, Robin Wright was born April 8th, 1966. And we are going to click Generate Chart. And when you click Generate Chart, you're going to have the option to choose how you would like to unlock your soul contract. You can buy it in parts or you can unlock the full analysis, which makes your soul contract downloadable. So you guys are going to see how these soul contracts are laid out on the website once you purchase them. And the first thing that we go through are the primary numbers, which talks about your identity, which talks about your soul essence. And when it comes to Robin Wright, she has two very powerful numbers, one being the number 8, the other being the number 4. The number 8 is a very spiritual number. It's also kind of an indication of an ancient soul, of a soul that has been around for a while and it's not their first go around. So I love that for Robin Wright. The second number she has here is the number 4. 4s are the one number that I always feel super iffy about because of what happens when 4s operate out of alignment. In misalignment, 4s can become very dangerous, very toxic. But when they're in alignment, they can be equally as positive as they are negative. So this is why I call this number the saint versus sinner number, because the people that carry this energy are either going to be the best person you've ever met or the worst person you've ever met. And that's going to depend on where you're catching them at. If you're catching them in misalignment or if you're catching them in alignment. Some examples of some positive number 4s are Rosa Parks, Audrey Hepburn. These are philanthropists. These are people that really cared about others, about the world, and about making it a better place. And the best negative example of a number 4 is P. Diddy. When we go into past life karmic debt, which is what follows, the section that follows after identity, after your soul essence, we look at the energy of your past life karma. So she has the energy of the warrior. And again, this kind of explains that energy of the number 4. In her past life, she was a warrior, a general. She had a great amount of power, influence, and authority. However, she used this power in a way that brought death or destruction to others. This doesn't necessarily always mean maliciously. It doesn't mean she had malicious intent. She may have been doing the best with what she had, with the position that she had, but it does mean that your actions could have caused other people's death. So, how does this manifest for her in this incarnation? This manifests as a person that's always in a fight. This manifests as fate constantly introducing conflicts, introducing fights that these people will need to resolve because that karmic debt is catching up with them, and fate is giving them an opportunity to handle things differently, to not abuse their power, to not abuse the influence that they were born with, and choose differently in this incarnation. Let's move on to her talents and spiritual gifts. We are going to be looking at what makes Robin Wright so talented and so gifted. The first being the energy of the number 4. This is Empress energy. This is the superpower of influence. And as you guys can see, you can see all of the celebrities listed over here that have this talent. And I do this in an effort to help you guys see how this is manifesting in other people's soul contracts as well, in their reality as well. You see really big names like Leonardo da Vinci, Jackie Robinson, Britney Spears, Michael B. Jordan, Eddie Murphy, William Shakespeare. These are gigantic influencers of music, of art, of sports. So with my clients, I try to kind of lay down that foundation of that energy in an effort to show them what is possible for them, what potential is there for them when they access the gifts that come along with these talents, with this energy. We have the energy of the Phoenix, whose superpower is death and rebirth. This is the energy of the number 13, and we see this in a bunch of big names as well. Michael Jackson, Kurt Cobain, Michelangelo, James Cameron. The energy of the Phoenix is pretty self-explanatory. It means that you can constantly reinvent yourself no matter what comes your way. Bankruptcy, you can just get up, start over, and become wildly successful again. Then we have the energy of the Sage, whose superpower is in healing other people's karma. So you are going to find that people with this number, the number of the Sage, are very spiritual. They understand complex spiritual ideas. And even if they haven't understood completely their karma and their life path, they're always able to give really good advice and a good perspective when it comes to other people's life paths. Now, a part of the talents and spiritual gifts section, you are going to see that there's going to be a section for the talents that you inherit from your maternal lineage, which for her is justice. Justice, again, 2 justices. Okay, so that's really heavy 8 energy. It's accentuated in her soul contract, which means that there is something that happened on her mother's side that was extremely unjust. And then we have the energy of magic, which superpower is creation and manifestation. I'd be really interested to look into what happened on her mother's side, in her mother's lineage, that kind of called for that kind of talent to manifest. Then we see talents from paternal lineage. We see mercy, leadership, and freedom. So that kind of paints this story of something happening that she needs to kind of be released from, something happening that she needs to find freedom in and really surrender and let go of it, specifically when it comes to her ancestors, specifically when it comes to her family. The next section that you're going to have in your soul contract is your destiny and purpose. I really do want to get to the subconscious program, so we're going to skip destiny for now, as well as money. If you guys want to pause it and read, I think it's going to show up non-blurry for you guys. For subconscious programs, we see Robin Wright have the millionaire program. How old was Robin when she when she did The Princess Bride, and did that make her a millionaire, is my question. Let me find that out. Okay, so Robin Wright was 21 years old when she filmed The Princess Bride, and while I can't necessarily see how much she was paid for The Princess Bride, she's currently worth $60 million. That's her net worth in 2025. So I feel like it's safe to assume that Robin Wright's millionaire program came true for her. Millionaire program means that eventually at some point in your life you are going to come into a lot of money, either through inheritance, hard work, or some sort of happenstance where you come into a large sum. I think that has proven true for her. We see her have the Fairy World Writer-Director program. Not surprising, especially since she has been a producer of the show that she was on, House of Cards. I'm sure she's done other things as well. She also became one of the highest paid actresses during House of Cards, repeatedly earning hundreds of thousands per episode. So this fits right into the abundance / success program that she has when it comes to the millionaire program. Then we come up on her high spiritual unification mission, which is a very spiritual subconscious program. It means that you were meant to unite people towards a common cause. We see this in Ruth Bader Ginsburg. We see this in Princess Di, Amy Winehouse, Frida Kahlo, and now in Robin Wright. This is a very powerful program. It more so kind of underlines your path and what you meant to do in regards to your work with others. Next, we see the binge program, which tells us that she may struggle to find a good medium, a happy balance when it comes to the things that she enjoys, when it comes to vices. And it doesn't necessarily always mean that there's a problem with vices, with drugs or alcohol. It could also be emotional eating or unhealthy attachment to things that she feels provide her with some sort of safety or support. We see this also in Brittany Murphy, John Lennon, Justin Chambers, Billy Crystal, ironically, Eddie Van Halen, and Frida Kahlo, as well as Prince and Malala. So magical knowledge is coming in from her maternal lineage, as we saw in the talent section before, and it doesn't pop up as often as other programs. We see only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 celebrities with this subconscious program. And I feel like I should touch on what subconscious programs are before we go any further. Subconscious programs are thought patterns, cycles, sometimes generational cycles, and sometimes gifts that we incarnate into this life with that are meant to help us along the way. When we're operating in alignment, they are strengths. They are things that set us apart and give us an edge. When we are operating in misalignment, they start to work against us. And the thing that I love most about this modality is that it also comes with not just strengths, not just potential issues, but also with recommendations on how to get these subconscious programs back on track so they're working for you. So they are acting as pluses and not as minuses. And specifically with magical knowledge, this is indicative of very powerful intuition, psychic abilities, or gifts of healing that is happening in the lineage. People with magical knowledge likely have almost this sixth sense, and they're not usually people that act on impulse or make empty promises. They like to think things through, plan ahead, make decisions very carefully. They're also very family oriented, but have a tendency to be somewhat idealistic when it comes to relationships, which poses relationship issues because they have a hard time committing to one person because they always feel like they find something that just isn't quite right, isn't sitting quite right with the person. So this kind of explains Robin Wright's tumultuous relationships. Next program we see is fear of expansion. And there's a little summary for us here. This program is all about growth, courage, and stepping outside of your comfort zone. It appears in people who have a strong potential for success. You're telling me. But it also carries fears that make them hesitate when it's time to move forward. I wonder if Robin Wright has limited herself when it comes to the jobs she's taken since Princess Bride, when it comes to the work that she's done since then. Because you would think that she would be in everything after Princess Bride, and I haven't seen her around a lot. I don't know that she needed to be around a lot after the success of that movie. But I feel like there's something there when it comes to this program, this kind of fear that's holding you back from becoming even more successful. We also see the guarded heart, which I feel like my favorite manifestation of this program is in Princess Di's soul contract, because I feel like if anybody is a guarded heart type, it is Princess Di. At her core, she is deeply sensitive, sincere, and emotionally aware. This is like Cancer energy for the guarded heart. These are very sensitive people that are bound to experience some sort of betrayal, some sort of pain or wounding that causes them to be a little jaded. So now they don't trust other people as much as they used to. They wouldn't open up to others as much as they used to. And it's something that they need to heal in their incarnation. And if you guys hop onto the Soul Space course, where I teach you how to analyze soul contracts, I teach you how to calculate soul contracts and how they work, we would be able to pinpoint where the subconscious program is happening for her based on where these numbers fall, and what sections and what octants these numbers fall for her. Then we have the fear of trusting God. That is an indication of some sort of resentment there, something happening, and they're like, okay, God isn't real, because if there was a God, this and this and this wouldn't happen. Fear of accepting magic power, being afraid to use their gifts, being afraid to use their intuition, oftentimes just disconnecting from their intuition, from their gut feelings. Then we see the prison program, as well as the lack of freedom. Prison program and lack of freedom often come hand in hand. Sometimes it manifests as a literal prison sentence, like jail time or arrest. But more often than not, it's more of a mental prison. It's more of something that they can't seem to escape, something they can't seem to get out of. Then we have extremism, which is also in John Lennon and James Dean's soul contract. Extremism, I feel like, is a very hot and cold energy in general. When it comes to the subconscious program, it means that you are very generous. You're very loving and open-hearted to the people that you love, but you can flip on a dime on them. You could essentially hear one thing and it's like, that's it, you're dead to me, cold shoulder, like, I'm not going to talk to you, we're not friends anymore, like, don't show up here. You're not a part of my life anymore. So there's a lesson here for her to not be so jaded, to not be so quick to cut people off, and approach things with a better understanding and compassion for other people. Let's see if there's anything else that we should touch on. Okay, there it is. Remember how I said that these soul contracts would be legendary? Remember when I said that all the way in the beginning? You're looking through this with me, guys. This is the first time I'm seeing her soul contract, and it makes so much sense. It makes so much sense that she has the golden gift. It makes so much sense. I wonder if Cary and Mandy Patinkin also have this. we're going to see. But essentially, the Golden Gift is the biggest blessing program, one of the biggest blessing programs in this modality. And it means that anything you touch turns to gold. You are just gifted like that. And I love that Robin Wright has this. I feel like it is indicative of why The Princess Bride became what it was, because I feel like if you put anybody else into you can't imagine anyone else in those roles of Buttercup, of Wesley, of Inigo Montoya. You can't imagine anybody else in those roles other than the people that played them, because they are what made it so memorable. They are what made it so legendary. So, breaking toxic cycles. Okay, I'm starting to see a theme here when it comes to Robin Wright. I saw something on the internet about her relationships being tumultuous, and I feel like it's been several times now that that's been kind of underlined, the relationship aspect of this incarnation for her. Specifically, ooh, I have a feeling that's coming in from her maternal line. I feel like that's what she needed justice in so bad. That's why she saw those 2 number 8s in her maternal lineage coming in. Were her parents in an abusive relationship? Can we find that out right now? Okay, so all it says about her parents is that they divorced when she was 2, leading her to relocate to San Diego, California with her mother. So that was very fated, my guys. That was very fated for her to move to California, I feel like. Okay. So, from how I see it, I feel like there was something going on with her relationship with her parents where that maternal lineage really sought justice, really sought to make things right. I feel like because her mom had enough audacity, enough courage to divorce and kind of move with her children, she may have healed that for their generation. But then we see this kind of thing playing out in Robin Wright's soul contract, which means there's still some remnants, if not the actual cycle still remaining, where people have to learn to break out of abuse, break out of toxicity. So I don't love that for her, but that's been underlined over and over again in her contract, this need to heal generational cycles. A rescue. Ooh, okay. The rescue program underlines another problem, which also relates to relationships, because the rescue program essentially means that this is the type of person that tries to fix people in relationships. She looks at their potential instead of who they really are, because she's like, I can see the potential of this person, which is very spiritual. It's a very number 9 energy. But you should never get into a relationship with the potential of somebody. And I think that is her mistake. I feel like she felt like she could change. Here, let me pull that program back up. I feel like she felt like she could change them. She could save them if only they wanted to be saved, if only they wanted to change. And that was likely a downfall for her relationships. Then we see fog. There's a lot of programs for her where she has a hard time seeing things for what they are. Fog does that. Fog definitely kind of clouds your judgment, and it kind of highlights, remember what I said about 9s being really good with advice, even if they might not see it for themselves. That's that energy. They might not know what they need to do in order to fix their relationship problems and their issues and conflicts, but they're really good at seeing how other people could fix their own. I feel like that's the fog program in misalignment as well. Kind of adding on to that energy where she cannot really see herself from an unbiased perspective, or from an accurate, really understanding of what is happening for her, which makes things difficult, especially if you're in an abusive or toxic relationship. So a lot there. There's a lot there. I feel like there was a lot of troubles on top of the gifts for Robin Wright, but so much of her energy is absolutely magical and beautiful. We see that part come out for her as well, and I feel like that's ultimately her downfall. That's one of the things that her soul needs to learn in this incarnation, how to be open with the right people, how to be vulnerable with the right people, and how to not be taken advantage of. I feel like out of her entire contract, that's the highlight because she has so much to offer. And the funny thing is, guys, the millionaire program, you could pass the millionaire program on to other people. This kind of energy, when you have it, when you have the millionaire program energy, you bless other people with it, other people that you're in a relationship with. So if you've ever been in a relationship and after that relationship ended, the person went on to go and do great things, like bigger things, and you're like, oh my goodness, he just totally stole my magic. That's the millionaire program energy. They fed off of it, and now they have enough energy to create something with it. And you're like, where was all of this when I was around? Where was all this effort? So I read her soul contract as a little bit tragic in light of how insanely gifted and how much abundance there is in her soul contract. There's like this combination of abundance, success, and tragedy in her soul contract that makes for a good Shakespearean play, you know? So let's move on to Cary Elwes. Cary Elwes was born October 26th, 1962. 26th, 1962. We're going to generate chart and we see the number 8. Okay. Okay. So I feel like him and Robin Wright would have gotten along because they understand each other's energy, given that they both are a number 8 for their primary number A. And then we have the energy of luck. So, of all of the numbers, my favorite numbers are 3 and 10 because 3 is all about abundance, luxury. 10 is all about opportunity. It's all about luck. It's all about things falling into your lap. Now, he has 2 past life karmic debts showing up here because the numbers are the exact same, they're just in different order, which means that both energies are playing out here, an energy of magic and manipulation and the energy of the hermit. The hermit energy is one where you had gifts, you were using them, you just chose not to share them with people. You kind of hid yourself away because you didn't want to be criticized or you didn't want to fail. There was some kind of fear that was holding you back from expressing yourself, from living authentically. So you kind of hid that part of yourself away. And then the magic and manipulation program is a past life where someone either used magic on you or manipulated you in some way that irreversibly just completely shifted and changed your life. This could be where your parents sent you off to like boarding school or married you off to the highest bidder. This is something that completely shifted your timeline in a huge way and kind of traumatized you. So what ends up happening in this incarnation is this person becomes awfully suspicious of people. They have this fear of being controlled and manipulated. So they're very cautious, could be like borderline paranoid, but cautious. They can feel a control tactic happening or a manipulation happening. They could see it coming from a mile away because they're almost so used to that energy because they lived with that energy. And now they're like, absolutely not. Like, I am going to do what I feel like doing. I'm not going to be manipulated. They will go out of their way if they feel like somebody's manipulating them. They will go out of their way to make sure that that manipulation doesn't happen, even if it's something that they actually want. For example, if they meet a salesperson that's particularly manipulative. Even if they want what the salesperson is buying, they're going to be like, I am going to be spiteful and buy it from somebody else now because I don't like your energy. So it's that kind of vibe that we're working with here. When it comes to his spiritual gifts and talents, we see that number 10, the number of luck, we see the potential. Superpower here is abundance of energy, my guys. Potential. 11s as a number are very hardworking, and because of that hard work, they have a tendency of really getting big promotions and big opportunities. The 10 being the number of opportunity and luck, I'm sure helps with that. Combine those two together, and you are meant to be in a role like Cary Elwes was when he became Wesley in The Princess Bride. Now, prosperity means that following your joy brings success. We see some really big names that have this kind of talent, have this kind of prosperity. We see that in Hailey Bieber, Michael Jackson, John Lennon, Leonardo da Vinci, Michael Jordan. Just, it's like a who's who of big names. And it's a very powerful number to have in your talents. From his maternal lineage, we see fortune coming in from the number 10. That's the energy of luck and opportunity, right? Then we see potential, abundance of energy again. Jesus. Oh my God. And the 19 again. Okay. So not only does he have 10, 19, 11, he has 10, 19, 11, the energy of prosperity, the energy of abundance, the energy of luck and opportunity. He has that twice. He has that doubling up for him. It's amazing that he isn't a bigger name than he is with that much energy powered behind it. Let me see. I'm going to be flabbergasted if it's coming in from the paternal. We see magic coming in from number 18 from his paternal side, as well as the sage. Okay, here's what's happening. His soul knew that he was going to be making big moves this incarnation, so it has gifted him with the numerology that created those kind of opportunities, put him in the right place at the right time in order to get a big role like playing Wesley in The Princess Bride, in one of the biggest movies known to man. So then from his paternal lineage, he's like, let's bring in a little bit of grounding. Let's bring in a little energy that's going to ground us, keep us focused on our spiritual, on our soul. And that's showing up twice. The sage is showing up twice. And the superpower there is healing other people's karma. I wouldn't be surprised if Cary Elwes and Robin Wright, again, bonded over this mutual sharing of the number 9, where they can see other people's conflicts and help with them, give them great advice in regards to how to get out of situations. Let's look that up, shall we? Let's look up if Cary Elwes and Robin Wright got along. Cary Elwes and Robin Wright are good friends. They developed a deep mutual affection during the 1987 filming. They remain in close touch, openly gushing about their time together and their enduring bond. You know what's refreshing? Seeing a male soul contract that isn't an absolute mess. I'm like almost getting emotional about it. This is a very beautiful soul contract. I did not expect this, and perhaps I'm a little biased because as of late, I've seen Cary Elwes in some questionable like characters. Not questionable, but like he played some bad guys. I can't remember where I saw him from. But this is refreshing. This is refreshing. This makes me happy. This brightened my day. I love that he has such a beautiful soul contract, and I think it says a lot about him as a person that Robin Wright has stayed in touch with him, because again, she's really, really sensitive. She's a very empathetic soul. So if there was some red flags with Cary Elwes, I feel like she would have just immediately cut that off, because again, remember, she cuts people off like there's no tomorrow. She cuts as soon as like they do her wrong one time. Nope, never talking to you again. So okay. Okay. Yeah, so Wesley is a good guy, guys. Wesley's a good guy. We go to Destiny. Let's move on. Let's go right down to subconscious programs. We see the fear of expansion. So, yeah, we see some fear happening for him. Robin Wright also had a lot of fear programs. And you know who else has a lot of fear programs? Kim Kardashian. We see the guarded heart. Another thing that he could have bonded over with Robin Wright, because she has a habit of having to guard herself, not really being vulnerable, not opening herself up to people because of being hurt in the past. So that has also happened to Cary Elwes. Fear of trusting God, also some resentment there. Lots of fear programs. Oh my gosh. He's like giving Kim Kardashian a run for her money. The hidden self. This is somebody that's very, very private. The problem with the hidden self, the challenge with this program, is that you can become so private that you start hiding things from others and sometimes even from yourself. They may struggle to understand what they're feeling. Like they've been so used to just stuffing things down, not really exploring their emotions or processing them at all, that they start kind of like dissociating from their emotions, from their pain, because they don't want to feel it. So this makes it difficult for them to make decisions with confidence. And at times, he avoids addressing issues directly, hoping that they're going to resolve themselves or simply become easier to deal with. So this is somebody that avoids conflict. They just hope that not addressing it is going to somehow make it better. We see the Pure Stream program. I feel like if you have a creative profession that requires you to have some creativity, imagination, and like really channel people, I feel like Pure Stream is something that you would want to learn to do. Channeling from the divine, really honing in what it is that you want to communicate through your acting, through your art, through your music. That would be the program to have. We have burnout. Now, burnout is self-explanatory. It means that the person gets really excited about things they're passionate about, and sometimes has this almost like Energizer bunny in them when they start to do it, to a point where they can go hours or days, weeks, obsessing over this one project until they end up burning themselves out because they don't know how to take breaks. They're like, I want to take advantage of this influx of energy, of the passion and excitement that I feel for something. And they end up screwing themselves in the end because they run out of energy because they didn't take it step by step. Now we have the TRAP program special mission. That's interesting. So Robin Wright had the High Spiritual Unification Mission, which is a spiritual mission, and he has this special mission program. So people with this program were just meant to do things differently. They were meant to do something different with their life. Prime example, Elvis Presley right there, Amy Winehouse, James Dean, Mary Curie. Come on. These are people that were meant to leave a significant mark on history, on their generation with what it is that they did. Malala Yousafzai is a great example, as is Ruby Bridges. People with this program aren't here to simply follow a path that everyone else created. They are different. They contribute something different to society and are very intentional with what it is that they contribute. Becoming visible is a very important thing for Cary Elwes as well. It means that he was supposed to heal some kind of visibility wound. And I feel like in some way he has, given that he's become as influential as he's become. He also has the fog program, which we kind of addressed. And then that's it. So very different kind of energy happening in Cary Elwes's chart, although there are some wounds there and an indication of somebody that's sensitive, avoids conflict, has been hurt in the past and is now guarded. Overall, the energy that's happening for him, overall the numerology that he has there for him has really, I feel like, attributed to why he was able to achieve what he achieved. Lastly, let's take a look at Mandy Patinkin and Mandy Patinkin's soul contract. He was born November 30th, 1952. And we have one of my favorite numbers, number 3, as well as number 11 in his 2 primary numbers. Let me show you guys where that's showing up on his chart. 3, 11, primary numbers. This is his soul essence. This is his identity. Who he is as a soul is this 11 number. Very strong, very hard worker, absolutely resilient. This kind of person doesn't know when to stop, when to back down. But more so, his energy in this incarnation, this lifetime, is the energy of that number 3, the energy of abundance, of luxury. His past life karmic debt is one of power and control. So this is interesting. And this is not surprising because the majority of the past life karmic debts I see in celebrities have to do with some sort of influential past life where you had authority, where you had power, and now needing to learn how to deal with the power better, essentially. So he held significant power and authority in another lifetime, influencing others and controlling them. So he's used to leading, he's used to directing, making decisions for many. So he was likely a king, politician, tribal chief, emperor, royalty, etc. So, okay, this kind of explains the rumors I've heard about Mandy Patinkin and his temperament. I have heard that there was a show that he was on that he was kicked out of because of how difficult he was to work with. This karmic debt alludes to why. He is used to that kind of controlling behavior. He is used to acting like a king, acting like a tribal chief, royalty, emperor, He's used to controlling situations, guiding others, teaching them, and acting like he's an expert on any given topic, which can be extremely annoying to work with day by day. So that makes sense. You see, because in this incarnation, his life is going to consistently challenge this narrative that he has going in his head, creating situations where the illusion of control falls through. This is how karma works, guys. Whatever karma you came here to clear, fate is going to continuously be offering you up on a silver platter situations that you were likely trying to avoid from a past life. You're like, I did that, like I was in this bad place, I don't want to do that again. But fate is going to continuously open up these kind of opportunities in an effort for you to show that you've grown, that you've learned from your mistakes and are now choosing to do better, choosing to make different choices. For example, not acting high and mighty, not coming in on your high horse, bossing everybody around like it sounds Mandy Patinkin does. Now, I don't want to throw too much shade on him, but let's continue exploring because maybe I'm going to change my mind. Maybe I'm going to be like, you know what? Like he had a bad past life karmic debt and now there's no coming back from it. So talents and spiritual gifts, he has that number 11 coming in, the number 3, and prosperity. This follows in the footsteps of Cary Elwes. So no surprise there that they managed to be on that same movie. Also, can we note how similar Cary Elwes and Robin Wright's soul contracts were? There was a lot of things there, a lot of energies there that were identical. So now we see Mandy Patinkin also having the number 19 in his talents and spiritual gifts, which showed up twice for Cary Elwes. So when we see cast members, people that are brought together via some kind of like creative venture, movie, music, they have very similar energy. And I feel like we don't explore that enough. I feel like soul contracts highlight that so well as to why they were brought together. It's like they were magnets. It explains why they were cast. It explains why they had good chemistry, because we see all of these unseen numerology working in the background that is making them work so well together. He also has the number 10, which Cary Elwes had twice in his talents and spiritual gifts. He has the number 9, which both Cary Elwes and Robin Wright had. I wish we had time to explore Billy Crystal's too. 17, that's anyone. 17 we haven't seen in Robin's or Cary's soul contract. 17 is the superpower of visibility. This is the celebrity energy. He was born to be a celebrity. He was born to stand out, to be in the spotlight, to be performing, and to have a lot of people with their eyes on him. Other celebrities that have this star talent: J.K. Rowling, Taylor Swift, Jennifer Aniston, David Schwimmer, Selena Gomez. It goes on and on and on, guys. Wow. Patrick Swayze too. Gordon Ramsay, Elton John, Billy Crystal. There it is. We don't even have to look up Billy Crystal because we can see all of the stuff he has. Then we have talents coming in from his paternal side: alignment. Soul, the number 14 is the number of the soul, and its superpower is alignment. This means that the universe works extra hard to make sure that you are where you need to be in an effort to do what you were supposed to do with your life. With this incarnation, we also have the justice popping up for him, which I believe was in Robin Wright's soul contract chart, except in her maternal lineage, twice. And then we have the world talent, which their superpower is feeling at home anywhere in the world. It means that you are going to be traveling. You are going to be traveling a lot in this incarnation. We're going to go down to the subconscious programs section to find Fairy World Writer Director. I wonder how many things he's directed or produced. Let's see. He was a producer on Homeland. He was an executive producer on The Artist and Seasoned, which is a 2025 comedy. Now, let's also look up Robin Wright because she also has the writer-director program. So her directing credits: Land 2021, House of Cards 2014 to 2018, Ozark, The Girlfriend. Producing credits: Land, When Elephants Fight, and House of Cards again. So that checks out. So the broken lineage is indicative of somebody that had a lot of potential at birth and who has the ability to break really long-standing generational cycles and become a powerful cycle breaker within their lineage. So there's an indication of empathy, wisdom, emotional awareness that allows them to understand family dynamics and help mend broken relationships. So in his family, in this incarnation, there are going to likely be broken relationships, either within family dynamics, either within, like, between the family, brothers, like cousins, aunts, uncles, or between the parents, but essentially there are family ties that are severed, either through loss, either through bad relationships, difficult relationships within the family that are meant to be mended. We see the binge program, which I believe Robin Wright has. We see the mother wound, which we haven't seen in any of the other soul contracts. And I find that very interesting. Let me see. There it is. Mandy Patinkin had a complex relationship with his mother. He loved her and inherited his survival instincts and strength from her. He has openly spoken about her struggles, particularly the tension he felt regarding her constant criticism of his father. So that is manifesting right here. Mother wound has the numbers 23 and 10. Whew. This program often results in misogynistic males when it's coming up in a male soul contract. So if I hadn't had some background about his relationship with his wife, I might be really wary of this. But remember, he just had a subconscious program that talked about how great he is at breaking cycles in his family. So I would not be surprised if this is one of the cycles that he managed to break, this disrespect towards women because of his mother wound. Then we see futility. This program means that at some point in Mandy's incarnation, he's going to feel like he has poured his heart and his soul into something, and it has absolutely either flopped, or there was absolutely no gratitude or no appreciation from the people that he kind of did this with or did this for. And it becomes like a really big wound for him, a big sore topic for him. We have the hidden self, which means he's super private. That coincides with the subconscious program in Cary Elwes's chart. Then we have sensitivity that Robin Wright has in her soul contract chart. And then we stumble upon self-destruction, as seen in Amy Winehouse. So self-destruction is pretty self-explanatory, because it just means that whenever things aren't exciting enough, whenever things finally settle down and feel safe, bearers of this program start getting antsy and may start to self-implode on themselves. The silence program in alignment comes with a natural gift for communication, storytelling, writing, teaching. And again, this guy's really big on the teaching part. I feel like there's a lot of ego tied to that, by the way. The past life karmic debt that he had, when you accompany that with the mother wound, oh, that's a recipe for disaster, my guys. Okay, when I see the secret love program, I know that there's one of two things happening. So let's look this up. There we go, guys. And there we go, guys. It says that he is outspoken in his advocacy for refugee rights, speaking out for the LGBTQ plus community, and using his platform to support humanitarian aid in conflict zones. Another one checks out. This is also seen in Frida Kahlo. I forget what other celebrity I saw this program in. I think it was Michael Jordan. And it checked out that Michael Jordan was also an ally. And I believe it's just because they understand, like, they can appreciate people on a soul level regardless of their gender. And they could even swing that way. So in Mandy Patinkin's case, he's decided to be an ally instead. Then we have the inner circle, the trap program, signature mark, unspoken truth, the charmer. Okay, so he has the influencer and the charmer. And for those of you, oh no. Okay. I wasn't expecting that one, because I'm pretty sure he's married. And all right, I'm gonna look up something. I just looked up if Mandy Patinkin has ever been in a scandal. He hasn't, but he's been at the center of a few notable controversies regarding his behavior on set. We talked about his past life karmic debt, so I feel like that checks out with that. But the Wandering Flame talks about a possible love triangle. This talks about a possible affair. So I don't know. I don't know how to interpret this right now. But I would be worried if I was his wife. He has never had a public affair. He has been married to actress and writer Catherine Grody since 1980. Stop. Oh my God, stop. Wait. No. Barbra Streisand claimed Mandy Patinkin wanted to have an affair. Is this right? Is this right? Is this right? Is this right? Guys. Oh. Okay. All right. Remember when I reserved the right to change my mind in regards to Mandy Patinkin? My mind has changed. My mind has changed. So maybe we should look at Barbra Streisand next time. Okay. Let me just find the part where it says something about an affair in New York Post. So she revealed in her memoir, My Name is Barbara, that she once threatened to replace Mandy Patinkin in the 1983 Yentl film after he said he wanted to have an affair with her while he was already married. And I mean, guys, that is the magic of these soul contracts. Holy crap. I never knew that. Notice how nothing was on the internet about him having an affair. I looked it up, and apparently Barbra Streisand said something about that. And guys, I believe it 100%. I believe it 100% because of this. Because of this, the Wandering Flame, that is the program of love triangles. That is the program of affairs. And yeah, that's heavy. I don't know what to do with that. No, we're not gonna talk about how special he is becoming visible. Okay. I think that's a good place to end it on. He also has the golden gift, just like Robin Wright. So, if you guys notice, there's a lot of similarities between Robin Wright's, Cary Elwes, and Mandy Patinkin's soul contract chart, although I'm going to say Mandy Patinkin's soul contract is on a whole nother level. I am shooketh. I'm still shooketh. I cannot believe we just saw that happen in real time. Okay. Trapped dreamer. I don't know if it's gonna get better. I don't like that. I don't like this showing up here. Okay, so his past life karmic debt was a doozy. It was like, it explained why people don't like him. It explained why he rubs people the wrong way, right? And now with this love affair that Barbra Streisand accused him of trying to start with her, that we now 100% believe, right? We now 100% believe that that's what happened. Although I don't think I would have doubted. Confidentiality. I'm questioning everything that he's putting on the internet now. Like, I feel like it's all a facade, especially with that mother wound. Like, I feel like Mandy Patinkin knows what to say, knows the right keywords to say to make him, like, politically correct. But this is making me question everything now. emotional games, gossip, manipulation, speaking in half-truths, or using information as leverage. So in misalignment, confidentiality is a doozy. If it's like manipulative. And now we're seeing a bigger picture of Mandy Patinkin, and I hate this for myself. I hate that I'm ruining Inigo Montoya for myself, but this is the price of looking up soul contracts, my guys. This is the price of looking up soul contracts. You start to see your childhood heroes for what they are, and it's not a good thing. Okay, well, he has I'm trying to like find some saving grace for him now. He has the acting program, the actor-actress program, which means that he knows how to act, how to mimic, how to parody. And okay. I'm a little floored. I feel like I want to just end it there. Good, because there's no more subconscious programs. I'm happy that there's nothing else to discover here. I feel like that is a good place to stop. That was a little bit traumatic. If you guys wanted to purchase your own soul contract analysis, you can do so by going to my website at thesoulecosystem.com and clicking on the Soul Contract Calculator tab, where you will be directed to put in your date of birth, and then you can unlock whether you want to have the full soul contract or buy it in parts. Let me know how this episode ended up making you feel, because I'm crashing out a little bit. I'm having an identity crisis. I feel like we learned a little bit too much. I was not prepared for what we were going to see in some of these soul contracts, but I was right on some aspects. There were some legendary subconscious programs, legendary numerology in Robin Wright's soul contract, in Cary Elwes' soul contract, and in Mandy Patinkin's. Unfortunately, we also found some questionable things that are disappointing. I think I'm going to end it there. Have a wonderful 4th of July. Have a great weekend, and I will see you guys next Friday.